Day 2 of the 0 to 100K a month SMMA course, where we literally give you guys everything for free. Today we're gonna teach you guys how to close appointments. So on day 1, we talked about how to actually book the appointments with your prospects. And today we're gonna go over what to actually say to them to get them to give you money. So first we're gonna go over the intro call script, where you really get to know the business owner, ask them questions, see if you can actually help them out. And then we're gonna go over the demo presentation, where you're actually gonna show them how you can help them. And at the very end, actually gonna show you exactly what to say to get their credit card and sign them up as a paying client. So with that in mind, let's dive in. All right, guys, we are live for day 2 of how to scale from 100K a month step by step. Hopefully you guys enjoyed part 1. Today we're going to talk about closing. Hopefully we can get to, pillar number 3, client results. If we can't, like I said, we'll take our time. Last week we covered setting appointments and mindset. Now, as far as closing appointments, let's jump right in. It's going to be a little bit simpler than setting appointments, although I would say harder at the beginning. There's a lot of mindset that goes into it. Actually, let me tell you guys a quick story. So one of my top sales guys ever, who ended up closing hundreds of chiropractors for my agency, when I hired him, he moved all the way from Atlanta to Colorado to come work for me. And we worked out of my kitchen. But for the first 6 months, he struggled hardcore. He didn't close anyone. Or maybe he closed a few people, but he really didn't close many people. And I remember talking to my business partner, and I was like, yo, we might have to let him go, which sucked because we really liked him as a person. We really, really thought he was an amazing individual, and he is. And his name is Omir, by the way. And we told Omir, if you don't close a client by the end of the week, we're going to have to let you go. He ended up closing a client and then went on to close hundreds. I mean, I'm sure at this point because now he owns his own VA agency. And at this point, he's probably closed at least 1,000 people in total. So I want to share that story with you guys because, like I mentioned last week with a popcorn effect, remember, you put the bag of popcorn in the microwave, it doesn't automatically just pop and blow up. You have to wait. It takes a little bit of time for you to see the results of your actions. And I think that's a great story of someone who, for him, sales didn't quite click. It didn't click. It didn't click and didn't click. And then finally, when he had some real pressure, things just took off. So stay with it. Sales is going to be tough. Sales is like more of a mental mindset energy thing than it is a tactics thing. Obviously, you want to have a good roadmap, a good script, but if you feel confident, if you have high conviction, if you believe in what you're selling, that's going to carry into the conversation and make it that much easier for you to close. All right, let's dive in. All right, pillar number 2, closing appointments. First things first, I need you guys to build your intro call script for cold leads and for warm leads. You guys have access to the drive and it has both of those scripts. So let's pull up the intro call script warm and go over it. I don't know if you guys can see this. I need to zoom in. Okay, when I mean warm, what I mean by that is that they booked on your calendar, right? So let's say that someone schedules a call through the paid ads and they book on your calendar, you're going to use this script. Let's say that someone referred someone to you and they book on your calendar, you're going to use this script. It's slightly warmer leads. The other one for cold doesn't mean cold calling. For cold calling, use Thomas's script, but for cold, all I mean is like maybe they responded to your email, or maybe they responded to your Instagram DM and you called them. Remember we went over all the Instagram DM scripts last week and the cold email script. If they respond to that and you call them, they're not yet booked on your calendar. For those people, you're going to use the cold script, but it's not cold calling. All right. So we do sales as a 2-call close. That's what we like the most. The reason why is because you have the opportunity to build a little bit more rapport. You have the opportunity to really build a relationship with the client who doesn't know you. So, for example, if you guys hopped on a call with someone that you guys know, like, and trust already, and you know what they offer and you know what they do, you're much more likely to buy on a 1-call close. But if you don't really know who they are, how it works, what they offer, what I've noticed is that when you try to fit it all into 1 call, it tends to feel rushed. And what ended up happening is most people ended up closing over 2 calls anyways. There was always like a follow-up. So we just played into that and we created a 2-step closing process. So we start out with an intro call. and then a demo presentation where we show them how we can help them. So this is part 1 of 2. This is the first call. All right, let's go through it. Hey, Dr. John, this is Joel with Atlas Digital. How are you doing today? I'm like, oh, awesome. Then you go, we had a call scheduled at this time. Is this still a good time for you, Dr. John? Awesome. Just so you know, right off the bat, this is going to be a short call. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Although, by the way, it takes a little bit longer. Really, the whole point is to learn about your practice and find out what new patients you're looking for and make sure we're able to help you out. Dr. John, does that sound good? He's like, yeah, of course. Okay, awesome. So Dr. John, tell me, what made you want to get this call scheduled today? You just start off with getting to know why they're here. You can do a little bit of rapport building, but honestly, 1 minute at the beginning is fine. Of like, I saw you like this sports team or whatever, but like, that's not what's going to make or break you selling them. FYI, even if they love you, that doesn't mean that they're going to buy from you. It'll help for sure if they like you, but that should not be the main focus of this. So if you want to do a little bit of rapport building at the beginning, that's fine. All right, part 2, you try to dig deep into their pain, their struggles, and create a gap between where they're at and where they want to go. So how are you currently getting new patients? Get to know a little bit about their marketing strategy. Have you ever used a marketing agency to grow your practice before? If yes, why did you stop working with them? And who were they, if you don't mind me asking? You're trying to get them to go a little bit more personal with you. Then you ask them, what would you say is your ideal patient? Are you looking for more, wellness, long-term care patients, decompression, personal injury, pain, weight loss, et cetera, et cetera? You're just getting them to tell you what they want, right? And how many patients are you seeing per week currently on average? And what is your goal? Where are you hoping to be? By when do you want to be there? Do you know what your new patient cap is? So, and by the way, guys, you don't just, you wait for their responses. You go a little deeper. You say things like, tell me more about that, or, that's interesting. So you want to dig a little deeper and probe and spend some time on each question. You don't need to rush through these. I'm just giving you guys an example of some questions to go through. Do you know what your new patient cap is? How many new patients can you guys see every single day? Do you have a CA, which is a chiropractic assistant? How much gross revenue did the practice bring in last month? And what is your goal? Where do you want to be? What does success look like for you? What do you feel like is the biggest obstacle in your way from getting to your goals on your own? And I'm just curious, why do you actually want to get to X goal? And I know that there's some scripts out there, by the way, that go really psychological, really deep. But what we noticed is that a doctor that doesn't know you, that just responded on a cold email, isn't going to open up about why they're not seeing the results that they want in life. So we tend to keep that first call a little bit more high level. We don't go too deep. I know there's other salespeople out there that tell you, dig deep, what's been holding them back in life. But guys, if you call a freaking dentist, he's not going to want to talk to you about that. From what we've seen, if you're a master of sales and you want to dig super deep and have very intense questions, go for it. If you have the authority and credibility already before the call where they're like, oh my God, I'm talking to this agency owner, fine, dig deep. But for the most part, these people just want the results. They want to know that you can help them and they want to feel heard. So we've noticed, again, for most of you guys, you don't have the authority just yet. They're not like, oh my God, I get to talk to Norris. They're not thinking that. It'd be cool to talk to Norris, but they're not thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to have a call with him. He's going to help me out with my business. They're more like, oh, I kind of want to learn more about this, get more appointments, but I don't really know who this person is, whatever. So we notice as we keep it as simple as possible, we get to know their practice. They feel heard. They feel like, okay, I know that this person can help me because they know what I care about, what I've done already, et cetera, et cetera. All right, part 3. And by the way, definitely go a little bit deeper, but again, you don't have to go so deep where you're like getting them to open up and, cry about something that they're struggling with. If you can do that and get them to really sit in the emotion, that's awesome, but it's going to be tough. All right, part 3. After that, the goal is to just get them set up for a demo presentation. The goal of this whole call is to sell them on you, get them really comfortable with you, and get them really interested in seeing how you can help them. That's it. Again, the goal is for them to get really comfortable with you and to get them really, really excited about learning how you can help them. That's the only goal for the first call. Does this person connect with me? And are they interested in learning more about how we can help them? If the answer is yes, you did a great job. So part 3, great. That's all I have for you, Dr. John. From everything you've told me, it sounds like we can definitely help you reach your goal. The next step would be to schedule a quick, I would change this to 60-minute call where I would walk you through and show you the exact system that we would use to help you get your goal of 30 new patients a month. You're going to repeat exactly what they told you. And again, it would take roughly about 60 minutes. And all we would need from you is just 2 quick things. One is for you to be in front of a computer with internet access. Would that be possible? And the second thing is for you to have all other decision makers on the call. These are the people who help you make decisions when it comes to marketing and reaching your goals. Maybe it's your wife, your business partner, et cetera, et cetera. Would that also be possible? Yes. Okay, awesome. Great. What days and times do you usually have an hour opening? Do you prefer mornings or afternoons? And awesome. Just so I don't mess this up, what time is it for you right now? And you're going to schedule the demo call on Calendly. Repeat the date and time at least 2 times before hanging up. And then you're going to close off with this question. Is there any reason you wouldn't be on this call? It's going to help get more commitment from them. They're like, no, I'm going to definitely be there. When they say it out loud to you and verbally commit, it's much more likely that they're going to actually commit. And by the way, maybe there's a reason why they wouldn't be on this call, and they're going to bring it up. So this is part 1. This is the intro call. It's really, really simple. Again, the goal is to get them to feel comfortable with you and for you to convince them and sell them on, hey, I'm going to show you how we can help you. Let's go to the cold. I'm not going to go into all the questions. I'm going to just start at the top. So this is the version if someone responds on Instagram or to a cold email and you have to call them, right? So again, the first one was if someone books with you. As you could see, the script is more based around hey, what made you want to get this call scheduled today? They already scheduled the call. Whereas the cold, you're like, hey, I'm the guy who sent you a message on Instagram, or I'm the guy who cold emailed you. So, hey, Dr. John, this is Joel with Atlas Digital. I'm the guy who sent you that Instagram DM about getting you potential new patients. I saw your response on Instagram and figured this was a good chance to connect and learn a little bit more about each other. I've got about 10 to 15 minutes before I've got to hop off. Is this a good time to chat? And they say, yeah or no. And then you say, I've had such an overwhelming number of people that have responded to that Instagram message. So I just wanted to use this call to see if we're a good fit. I'll ask you some questions. And if it sounds like we can help you, we'll set aside another time to chat and go through the details. Is that fair? The rest of the script is very similar to the warm script. The only main difference is the beginning. You're just addressing, hey, I'm the guy who emailed you. I'm the guy who sent you a LinkedIn message. I'm the guy who Instagram DM'd you. And by the way, as a side note, I don't know if I mentioned this on last session, any person that replies on Instagram or cold email, call them immediately. Take the conversation off the platform. Any person that responds to your Instagram DM or cold email or LinkedIn message, and they say they want to learn more, just straight up pick up the phone, find their number, and call them. And by the way, at that point, it's way easier to get them to then call you back versus trying to schedule a call over Instagram DM and overcomplicating it. So that's when you would use this script right here. Okay, any questions on the intro? Anyone? It's pretty simple, right?
Sounds pretty good to me, bro.
I like that. Cool. All right, let's keep going. All right, that's the intro call script. That's part 1 of 2 of the sales process. I try to make it as easy as possible. Again, there are some advanced 1 call close scripts. I've noticed that for most people in your shoes, this process tends to be a little easier to get started. If you want to graduate to a 1 call close with a more advanced script where you're pitching on that first call, you definitely can. What I've noticed, it's this is more like the training wheels on the bike. It's a very easy script to follow. You should be comfortable following that script to a T, even if you're talking to a doctor and doing a great job. And that's going to give you confidence, which again, as we talked about, is going to have way more impact than the script. If you feel very good about what you're offering and feel very confident in your process and in who you are, that's going to make way bigger difference than what your sales process is. For example, has anyone seen the Redeem Team on Netflix? It's like that new Netflix documentary about the Olympic basketball team for the US, like Kobe Bryant. There's been like some TikTok videos about it where like Kobe runs into like Pau Gasol and like goes right through his chest and like takes him down.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it was so sick.
All right, well, I sent that to my sales team yesterday and I was like, guys, we need to do whatever it takes to fucking win. And I was like, I need you guys to watch this immediately. And I just sent him that clip of Kobe literally running through his teammate. And the reason I shared that is because, again, energy and how they feel and how excited they are and how pumped they are makes a huge difference. Now, obviously, you do need to have a sales process. You can't just like be all over the place. But what I like to tell you guys is come in with confidence, come in with conviction, and follow the simple process that has the training wheels. And then eventually, if you want to graduate to a more complicated script, you definitely can. All right, Andrew, did you have a question? So you ready?
Yeah. Hey, so 2 questions. One was just about call. If you schedule a call, are you trying to schedule a time, or do you ask for their number? If you don't have their number and they agree to learn more, do you want to ask for their number and schedule a time right away, or just ask for the number and call them, or ask for a time that works for them first?
You're saying if they respond to like a cold email?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try to look for their phone and kind of catch them off guard a little bit.
Right.
And then I'll be like,
Okay.
hey, I try to give you a ring to go over this. And you could just say, hey, when do you have a few minutes to connect? Or what's the best number to reach you at?
Okay,
It can
cool.
sometimes
And
be in the email as well.
Yeah, exactly. But you always want to loop back to just, it's like whenever you have this is a good little hack. Whenever you have a client fire, don't ever try to solve problems over text or email. If your client's pissed, you want to get them on the phone always, every single time. Never try to solve problems over text or email. Same thing with prospects. Can you close a client over the DMs or email? I'm sure it's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's way easier over the phone. So like, and you know what? It's so easy to lose someone over the DMs and then they don't get back to you. Like, it's just better to like pick up the phone, call them. And then if you have that connection, again, the first call is just to get them to know you and be like, oh, I spoke with Norris. I know who he is. I know what he's going to help me with. We had a good conversation. I'm excited to learn more. That's the whole goal of the first call.
so thanks. The second question was just about, I guess that the 2-call close. So if you're, let's say, just working with chiropractors and they're essentially like vetting them is like essentially maybe like just very few questions because they're all very similar. So would you say that that first call is more to just kind of build rapport for the second call? Or are you really vetting them for that in that first call?
I mean, you definitely can disqualify. I think most of you guys should say yes to people more than no at this point. The more you guys scale, you essentially earn the right to be more aggressive in disqualifying people. But at the beginning, I'd rather work with 10 people paying me $300. I would rather work with 10 people that pay me $300 a month than one person that pays me $3,000 a month, even though I'm making the same amount. And I know that probably sounds crazy to most of you guys, but I want as much experience. I want as many opportunities to get better. I want to build momentum. I want to then turn those 10 clients into more referrals, et cetera, et cetera. So at the beginning, I'd rather you guys disqualify less. As long as you're focused on a niche and you're saying, I'm working with chiros, you don't have to like disqualify them because whatever reason. I'd rather you guys just find a way to work with them.
All right, thanks.
Unless it's
So
like a
what are your
mobile
thoughts?
chiropractor. I know that there's like mobile chiropractors. Ads never worked because they were like, the leads don't like when you call them and you're like, hey, the chiropractor's going to come to your house. And they're like, that's kind of strange.
Oh,
Cool,
I just have a
thanks.
quick question. Oh, sorry.
What about mobile detailers?
That's fine. It's more like, that's like normal.
Oh, yeah, my question was, so sort of, when I book appointments on the call, like before I book them, I'm like, we send you like 10 appointments or something like this for free. And obviously I need them to pay for the ad spend. So, when I get on like the appointment or the booking, I'm like, yeah, so, the ad spend sort of comes from your end. A lot of times, like people be like, oh, well, you said it was free. How would you like combat that? And how you sort of
Are you
pitch
going
it
over that in the first call?
Well, yeah, right now I am. So would you recommend
I would just go to
saving it
my
the second call?
process, go to lead the conversation. So if you hop on the phone and you start going into the specifics and they're like, well, Henry, how much is it going to cost me? And you're like, yeah, well, you know what? It's free, but I do have to get your ad spend. If you start going into that,
Yeah,
they're leading the
yeah.
conversation. If you're like, hey, Dr. John, we'll go over all those details. Don't worry about that. I'm going to cover everything. Before that, we'd love to ask you just a few more questions to make sure that we can help you. And, if we can help you, we'll answer every single question that you have about those details. So, and then you go back to the script.
Yeah.
It's called taking the frame. So this is one of the hardest things when you have no social proof, when you're just getting started, when you don't have as much experience, they own the frame and they're taking the lead. And it's easy for them to just be like, well, tell me how this works. And you're like, well, like, here's how it works. And you kind of like do everything
Yeah,
they
nervous
ask
and you
you.
just go over, yeah.
But you have to almost not give a fuck if you lose it and be like, well, Dr. John, like, happy to show you everything. That being said, would love to ask you a few questions first. And after that, if I believe we can help you, I promise you we'll go over absolutely everything. And everything that we create is customized based on what you guys are looking for. So first, I just want to get to know you guys a little bit more, and then we'll dive into the specifics.
Hey, Joel.
Yeah.
I'm going to share something that will help everybody take the frame pretty quickly. So when you get started with the call, you obviously set the expectations, but before you like start diving into your clarification and discovery, tell them if at any point you feel this isn't right for you, I ask that you tell me no. Are you okay with that? So you're basically letting them know, hey, like, here's what you can do. And then when they agree to that, you say, cool. And based on your answers, if we feel we can't help you, would you hate me if I told you it's a no from us? So now you're leveling the ground and you have established control because you're telling them, hey, don't waste my time. Don't waste your time. If this isn't a fit, tell me. And if it's not a fit for us, we'll tell you and we won't waste any time. And you pretty much take instant control of the frame.
Yeah, that's a great line. Again, we're getting into some more advanced tactics now. Because if you say that line and you're not confident in it, they'll feel it. So it's like,
yeah, it is a more advanced tactic.
You guys should all play around with these things. Liam, I'm so happy you shared that. Everyone should run with that. But just know the first few calls, start with as easy of a process as possible, just to get your feet wet. Like, I remember the first time I talked to like a prospect on the phone, I was like unsure, and you just want to build that confidence of like, hey, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, and get a few more reps in. And then you could start saying things like, is it cool if it's a no from us? At the end of the call, it's like, at that point, you got to be sure when you say the line, like, you can't be like, and if it's a no from us, is that okay?
You have to be convicted.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really glad you shared that, Liam, because that's what I meant by more advanced variations.
Yeah. Because like the way I get them, like a good way to get them on the calls, it's like, oh yeah, we send you, 10 appointments, and then, we sort of work on different payment basis. But when it's like we send you the 10 appointments free, they're like, oh, it's 100% free. Like, I don't have to pay anything.
Dude, just walk them through your process. Don't go into details. And by the end, they might even forget about the 10 appointments. Genuinely.
Yeah, but that's like I mean, like, I'll do that
walk
on like
them
the
through your
call.
process. Walk them through your process. If you're messaging them, hey, Dr. Henry, this is Joel with Atlas Digital. I'm the guy who emailed you about those new patients. I saw your email and I figured this was a good chance to connect and learn a little bit more about each other. I've got about 10 to 15 minutes before I've got to hop off on another call. Is this a good time to chat?
Yeah, I got some time.
Okay, awesome. I've had such an overwhelming number of people that have responded to that email about getting new patients, and just wanted to use this call to see if we're a good fit. I'll ask you some questions, and if it sounds like we can help you at the end, we'll set aside another time to chat and go through the details. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome. So give me a good bird's eye view of your practice. What are things looking like? How are things going? Are you guys getting a ton of new patients right now? Tell me more about that. So you see how we don't go into the new patients?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the 10 new patients, if that makes sense.
But like, if it's like from a cold prospecting list, like you're like dialing numbers and stuff, and I've just found like that just sort of gets people on the call. So like,
I mean, cold calling is a different beast. Like, this is more for someone that books a call with you, right? So
yeah.
I think if you do cold calling, it's going to be a little bit of a mix of whatever you do to get them interested. And then I would try to get them into a discovery as fast as possible. If they express interest in your 10 patients or 10 leads or whatever your 10 booked appointments, if they express interest, I would try to get them into discovery as fast as possible and get them to start following your process. And again, not go into specifics until afterwards. Does that make sense?
Yeah, fair enough. Thanks, man. I think these guys want to ask some questions. So
I think if you go, look, if people are like, tell me how it works, but what about the ad spend? They're not actually showing buying intent. It's more of a smoke screen. That's just them telling you to F off. If they were genuinely curious about how it would work, they wouldn't be asking it in that tone, for example. To be like, well, I really want to do this, but could you explain to me how the ad spend is going to work? That's buying. They're showing buying intent. They're saying, hey, I'm interested. I actually have some questions to learn more about this. They're not telling you that to F off. Where if they're like, well, I thought this was free, that's a smoke screen. They're not actually they don't actually care whether or not it was free or not. They're just saying, hey, I'm not really interested. I want to get off this call. That's really what they're saying.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually.
Guys, remember I told you to read that book, The Way of the Superior Man? Did I remember? So it talks a lot about like feminine and masculine energy. And like one of the things is like females tend to be a lot more emotion driven, not logic and mind driven. And what they say and how they feel might be different. What they say and how they feel might be different. And I don't want to go too crazy, but the idea is like, if you guys have ever been with a girl, maybe they're mad at you about something that you said you were going to do that you didn't do. Like, oh, I thought you were going to pick me up. That's not really what they're mad about. They're mad about the fact that you're not showing them the quality time that they want, right? Like there's something deeper always. It's not about the thing, it's something deeper. And with sales, it's exactly the same. Like what people say and how they feel might be different. Someone might say, well, how much is it going to cost? That's them really just telling you, I'm not really that interested right now. And I'm going to throw things at you to get off this call. So the moment that you make it about the thing they're talking to you about, they've already won. So the moment that you're like, well, it is free, but you have to cover ad spend, you're just playing their game now and they've already won. Just to keep it simple, if you stay on track with a script and don't let them deviate you away from it, you're going to be solid.
No, thank you so much, bro. A lot of value given. Thanks, man.
They're going to want to take you off of that script. They're going to want to pull you out of it. The more you could stay on track, the more you control the frame, the more you're not going to feed into how they feel.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
All right, let's keep going. Cool. Yo, I'm like trying to be careful with what I'm saying so I don't get canceled, you know? It's like, I don't want to go down a certain path today. I'm just trying to keep this SMMA, you know? But it's a good analogy, man, guys. It's like, it's true. Like you have to listen for how they are feeling, not what they're saying. All right, demo presentation. Everyone overcomplicates the fuck out of the demo presentation. And more than anything else, guys, your goal with the demo presentation is to show a few things. You can get results, they can trust you, and for things to be really clear on what they're signing up for and what they're getting to make your life as an agency owner a lot easier after they sign up. So by the end of this, if they go, okay, I know what I'm getting, I trust this guy, I know that they can get me results, and I know exactly what's going to happen next, you're solid. Don't overcomplicate it. I know there's going to be a lot on there. It's really just more like a visual guide for you to walk them through how you can help them in a way that makes sense for them, so that at the end they go, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I know that you could, based on everything I'm seeing, I know that you can help me, and I know what the next steps are. Let's get started. A lot of people get so stuck on the demo presentation. It's more just like a visual conversation that you're going to have with someone. Okay. Liam, did you have a question?
So I'm gonna save my question because it's more advanced till the end. And I think if we could all just save our questions till the end, because last time this was 3 hours long and we got calls to make and stuff. So yeah, let's just save our questions to the end.
Yeah, that's good. So you raised a question to say we'll save our questions till the end. I like that. All right. This is how I'm gonna just walk you through it. So our Atlas launch system that is helping, doctors capitalize on the upcoming recession by saving them money and getting them new patients during these financially uncertain times. Now, I just put a big hook there. I've tried a bunch of hooks. Again, don't overcomplicate it. It could be like, before it was like our prepay and show up system that is getting patients in the door for chiropractors guaranteed. My goal is to show you how you can use this new system to continue to fill up your practice with new high quality patients and maximize this unique opportunity that chiropractors have been waiting for. And at this point, I'm just like, I don't actually go through all this. I just kind of scroll so that they see it. Like, I don't actually go over it. It's more for them to be like, holy crap, that's a lot of doctors that they've worked with. But first, let's address the elephant in the room. This is where I handle the biggest objection that I get before it comes up. So the biggest objection that I got in marketing was, I've already tried this so many times, what makes you guys different? For me, starting with this slide was like key, because then they wouldn't ask me that stupid question that they would always ask me at the end. Well, what makes you guys different? It's like, they already know after this. And it honestly, with handling objections, it's more about addressing it before it comes up than anything else. So it's fascinating how the mind works. If you tell someone, hey, this is what makes us different, then they're not going to ask you what makes you guys different, even if what makes you guys different isn't that different. I know that was like a lot of words. Let that sink in. Like if you just tell someone, hey, this is what makes us different, then they're not going to ask you what makes you guys different, even if it's only a few little things here and there that makes you different. The mind works strange in that the mind is weird in that way. It's just setting expectations. It's just letting the prospect know, hey, this is how things are. So then they in their mind think this is how things are. I'll tell you guys a quick little tidbit. With client communication, if you told a client, one of the best things about our agency is that we always get back to the clients within 72 hours. Then they're going to think, oh my God, they get back to us within 72 hours. That's awesome. If you don't tell them that, and it's been a freaking day and you don't get back to them, they're going to be like, you don't get back to us. The communication sucks, blah, blah, blah. They're going to blame you for the lack of communication. But if you just said, hey, one of the best things about us is that we get back to you within 72 hours. Now, you have 3 days to get back to them and they're excited about it. They're like, oh, this is great. This is one of the best things about it. But if you don't lead people by setting the expectations, they end up leading themselves. And most people lead themselves and not the way that you want them to lead themselves. So the same thing goes in sales, and it's just about addressing it before it comes up. So as you can see, I just show some things that have made us different, but it's nothing too crazy. I say we have a proprietary pay ahead system, but that's just kind of words. We just got the patients to pay before they would show up. And then I just show more results. But again, at this point, I'm not like going through it too much. I'm just talking over it and scrolling so that they see all the results. That's really the goal here. If you guys want, you can take this copy and make a mini sales letter to really convince them on your program, but you also don't have to. Like you can skip through a lot of this. We noticed that when we had that sales letter, it worked better with people that weren't really convinced. But if someone's pretty interested and engaged, you can kind of skip through all that. That's more like a last resort to try to convince someone that's like, why am I here today? So we took the idea of creating a VSL, a video. Does everyone know what a VSL is? Like a video sales letter. And the problem is most of these doctors or prospects aren't going to sit and watch your VSL. Like if you send it to them before the call, they're not going to watch it. So we were like, what if we actually did like a quick one on the call to convince them even more? That way it's guaranteed that they're watching it because you're just saying it out loud live. Now, if they're pretty like interested, you don't have to go through it. Like they're like actually genuinely curious about how the system works. You can kind of just jump to that, show a little bit of results. But if they're like, I don't really know about this, then it does make sense to go through it. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it's kind of just like breaking down the pain points of where things are at and then introducing our system as the solution. And then, I say now you might be wondering, this sounds great and all, but has it worked for other doctors? You can see here, it's worked for a ton of other people. And with that in mind, let's dive in. So at this point, I'm going to actually show them the system. Again, if you want to make a condensed version of this, you definitely can. Let me see if I can actually pull up our Atlas Dental demo that got us to like 80K a month. And you're going to see how basic it is and how little social proof it has. I'll share this with you guys. But like literally, here, check this out, guys. Literally, it's bare bones. It's like 22 slides. It doesn't have any social proof. This is what we used when we were just starting out with dentists. Terrible picture. But we just like went right in. We're like, this is the system. So like, it's more just to show them, hey, here's how the system works. Here's what you're going to get, so that they have really good expectations. Going over the guarantee, things like that. It's more important than like the whole entire, here's all the social proof. Here's the sales letter. That's more once you guys are advanced and you have a lot to share. This obviously helps. But like I said, we closed, and I'll send this to you guys, but we got up to 80K a month with this demo for dentists, and it didn't have anything, barely. But anyways, let's keep going. So sales letter, more social proof. Then we introduce the system. With that in mind, let's dive into the system that is helping DCs capitalize on the upcoming recession. So this is where I actually show them the system, and I actually take my time. I'll pull up a Facebook ad account. I'll pull up high level. Like, I'll actually take the time to show them. I want them to get bought in. And I know it's very feature heavy, and it's probably not the best in terms of digging into the pain and like the emotions. But what I noticed is that if you sell purely based on emotions, but they don't really know what they're signing up for, and they're not really convinced on the system, they don't retain. They don't stay for very long. But like, even at my peak with over 200 active clients, our retention rate was over 90%. So like, one of the reasons why is because everyone was very clear, this is what I'm getting, this is what I'm signing up for. And you guys make your money on months. If someone stays with you for a year or two, that's where you make some serious cash. It's not on the first month. So I'd rather them be really clear on what they're getting, be really clear on who we are, be really clear on the process, versus like them having no idea what it is and they just signed up because it sounded great, but then they're like, oh, it's just another Facebook ad system or TikTok ads. So this is why we walk them through it. So at this point, I show them the system. Here's all the different things that you're going to get. So I show them all the different things. I'll maybe like pull up a Facebook, like an ad account. I would pull up Go High Level. I would actually show them the system. Be like, oh, look, and then I would use that as an opportunity. Like, let's say that you guys crushed a reactivation campaign, your roofing client, you could pull that exact account up and be like, look at all the responses they're getting. So you could use that as an opportunity to show them live the results that you're getting for people. And then they're going to be like, holy crap. All right. Then we have your guarantee, your offer. Then after that, I do an offer stack. I'm like, here's everything you're going to get. Then I throw in a few bonuses. You guys already have this bonus, so you can literally steal it. You already have this bonus, so you could also steal it. Bonus 2, reactivation campaign. Let us pay your referral program. So this is everything you're going to get. Then we actually go into the close. So moving forward, it's $3K a month plus $500 for ad spend and a one-time setup fee of $1,000. Or if we get started right now, it's only $19.97 a month plus $500 for ad spend, and we will also waive a $1,000 setup fee, and you'll get access to all the bonuses. Which investment option sounds best to you? Now, that's kind of the close. That's how we ask for the decision to be made. It's easy. It's not complicated. It's not like what credit card is best. It's more like, which investment option sounds best to you? And then obviously it's option B, but now they're thinking, okay, this is the one that makes more sense. And then now they have to think, well, do I actually want this? But they're already thinking about it. So it's kind of like a sneaky way to get them to commit. Okay, a few more things. If someone's like, no, I need to think about it. This is what we would do. We would say, we'll take a $100 fully refundable deposit. It's good for 72 hours. If you'd like to think about it, no problem at all. All we ask for is a 100% fully refundable deposit to hold your spot with option 2 for 72 hours. And what we would actually do, here's one of the biggest hacks that helped me close most of my clients, or a lot of my clients. Did we talk about strategic partners last time? Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. I don't think so. You guys want to find one person that you offer to work for them for free. And they're going to be your strategic partner. They're going to be your reference. They're going to be your case study, and they're going to be your backup closer. So like, let's say that I work with chiropractors. Well, there was this Dr. Jen and Dr. Brian. They're actually here in Colorado as well. They became our strategic partners. And anytime that someone didn't close, we would then schedule a call with them. So if someone wants to think about it, we literally say, no worries. Take your time, 72 hours. In the meantime, all we ask is that you schedule a call with, one of our top clients, so you could just hear from their experience. And see what the program is like, and just speak to another doctor. That way you can get an unbiased opinion. But obviously it's going to be a little biased because you're going to pay Dr. Jen and Dr. Jen or Dr. Brian, your strategic partner, you're going to pay them commission for anyone that ends up closing. This is one of the genius hacks that really, this is also genius when you have no social proof, when you're just starting out, because it solves the reference objection. It solves the, hey, can I speak to someone? It's like, sure, I can connect you, no worries. So when you guys are starting out, you should find one strategic partner that you can offer to work for free in exchange for them helping you out with being your reference and being your backup closer. So if someone wants to think about it, you can say, no problem, we do require $100 fully refundable deposit. And all I ask is that I'm going to connect you with one of our top clients. Just pick their brain, see what the program is like, and then we'll reconnect after that. Don't go to this until you've really pushed hard and tried to get the sale. And then last but not least, if money was an issue, like if finances were actually an issue, we offered them a payment plan of like splitting up the payments. And if things were still an issue, we didn't actually go over this on the call. We didn't want to have it on the demo presentation. We wanted to make it feel special. We don't want to make it seem like part of the process. So if finances were an issue, we skip to the payment plan. If that's still an issue, what we offered was, hey, we have something called the Atlas Digital Starter Program. It's only $1,000 a month for the first 2 months. 500 goes to us, 500 goes to ad spend. And you give them a more basic version of the program. So you don't give them all the bonuses. You don't give them everything. You just give them a few things here and there. But the idea is you downsell them on $500 for the first month or two, which makes it easier for them to say yes. So if finances are really the issue, that's an option that we would use without having it on the demo presentation just in case, because what if they're like, then feeling like it's not special, or like, oh, I just want to sign up for that. Like we just took it off the demo and we would only say it on the call. So that's the demo presentation. Just to recap really quick. Introduction, I sprinkle in some social proof, as you guys can see here. You could also just skip all that and you'll still be fine. So if you don't have so much crazy social proof, don't worry about it. If you have one social proof, just put that one screenshot and that's it. You're good. Then you want to address like the biggest 1, 2, or 3 objections that you're going to get. You could say, let's address the elephants in the room if you want. If you're getting like an objection over and over and over again, like just address it. So you want to take your top 1 or 2 objections and hit it at the beginning. Then you can have a sales letter, but it's not mandatory for you to go through it. So that's this whole process right here. It's most of the slides. Again, you don't have to go through it. You can just jump right into here's the system and actually just start showing them how you can help them. Then you're actually going to dive into the system. Then you're going to go over your offer. Then you're going to go over the offer stack. Then you're going to go over bonuses, then the referral program, then the close, then the downsells, which are the deposit, then the payment plan, then the starter program, and then next steps. So that's the demo presentation. A few quick things. Number 1, it's really important. This is actually extremely important. Take this and make it you have to make it different, because if you guys go after the same niche, they start to see the same demo, it's going to cause problems. I'm telling you, I've seen this happen. They don't mind seeing a demo presentation. They don't mind talking to 2 people with demo presentations. Honestly, even if all you did was take the slides, like I had people take the same exact pictures and like, I'm like, dude, even if all you did is take the slides and make them black background, like make it as different as possible aesthetically, and definitely change it up a little bit. Like this is an important one that you have to change up a little bit. I'm telling you guys right now, take the framework of what I showed you and change it up a little bit. Second piece of advice, when you're starting out, I would personalize the demo a little bit more. If you have the time to actually take some of the things that they told you they wanted, or some of the goals they said they wanted, and you could even put their logo on the demo, change the headline, be like, this is the system that's going to get you 30 new patients in the next 30 days. And then you put their logo and yours, like even just personalizing it when you have the time. Obviously, if you're taking 8 of these a day, you're not going to have the time. But at the beginning, if you have 3 of these a week, personalize it a little bit. And I think that's pretty much it. All right. I think we got 18 minutes for questions. And then we're just going to make this a 4-week thing because I think I'm going to just do pillar 3. And that way it's like each pillar is its own session. We do 4 total. All right, let's start with Liam, then
I'm here.
Liam, then Andrew, then Jackson, then Abdullah.
Sweet. So my question was, I've got a couple clients already. I'm looking to hire an appointment setter. I just actually had like 2 interviews with VAs. How should I structure that? Because I don't know if I have enough like lead flow to hire them full time. Like, how should I go about doing that?
You're thinking about hiring VAs?
Yeah, for appointment setting. So this is what like Thomas has an appointment setter that'll call the leads that we generate for clients to get them pre-booked.
You have a few clients already?
Yeah.
How many?
2 just got off, probably my 3rd one. I'm onboarding on Monday and then have another onboarding later today. So it should be about 4.
Okay. And then it's just you?
Yeah.
So you're asking me if you should hire a VA or what?
No. Well, I'm planning on it. I'm just saying like, when is that the appropriate thing to do? Like, cause these are like $5 an hour VAs, but they're not going to be just sitting in front of a computer for 8 hours or whatever. Like they're going to be getting the leads as they get generated so they can call and set those appointments.
Well, first things first, you can always give them other things to do.
Yeah.
If they're not busy. Like you can easily give them other things to do.
Yeah. Cold calling. I would have a cold call.
Here's another thing to keep in mind, guys. Most people build their agency as they go. But the more advanced you get, like I started another business that is outside of the online world, and we're on track to do 100K in profit within the first 90 days. But I put in an entire, we ran ads, I put an entire sales team in place. Like I'm not starting on square one, you know, I'm starting on with a bigger foundation. So don't be afraid sometimes to take a step back and build the foundation in order to go 3 steps forward. A lot of people tend to build 1 step at a time, but like, let's say you hire the VA now and you don't have too much for them to do. That's kind of like taking the step back. Like the first time I hired my salespeople for the new company, they didn't have much to do until the lead flow kicked in.
Right.
But then once it did, boom, they're ready to go.
Yep.
So
just hire them.
I think you should. Yeah. At this stage, that's the first hire for sure. Like we'll go over how to build the team next time we talk, or no, that'll be the last session. But our team was me and my business partner. So we did have 2 people. Then after that, it was 2 VAs. Then after that, it was a closer. Then after that, it was an account manager. Then after that, it was a marketing manager.
Yep. Cool.
And the VAs helped us out with admin and with prospecting.
Nice. Yeah. So I should hire them and have them do appointment setting and cold calling, or appointment setting for myself and for my clients.
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome. Thanks.
All right. Let's see who's next. Anyone have any questions about what we went over, by the way? Let's start with those before we go over general questions. Jackson?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, Andrew. Sweet. Andrew, then Jackson.
So about that demo presentation you give, what are your thoughts about doing that through a Loom video with like, so not doing that live? Do you think it would still be effective?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm a doctor or a roofer, I'm not watching your Loom video, my guy. Fortunately.
Okay.
Um,
Unless you're real big as a company, like you're like an
unless Elon Musk, if
name.
Elon Musk makes you a
Right.
video, you're watching it. But like, yeah, exactly, Jackson. That's a great point. Unless you have so much authority that they're like, oh, I got a Loom video from Andrew. Otherwise, get people on the phone, guys. Yeah, it's hard to automate.
The second question was earlier you referenced, you want to keep them long term. What would you say is just by analyzing the model, it seems like most of the money we're able to bring local businesses is in the first few months. What would you say is a good maybe like how long should we aim to aim? Retention, yeah. Retention rate.
It depends on the niche. So like real estate tends to be a flaky niche. So it's better to like charge for like 6 months up front. It also takes a long time for people to buy or sell a house. Like before I bought my home, it took me a year, and I was a good prospect, you know? So like
With the chiropractor,
with those niches, like real estate, it tends to, if you do month to month, it tends to be, they don't see the result right away because it takes more time and they're like, I'm out. But like,
I lost my realtor in 1 month.
yeah,
3
that's
days.
why with any niche like that, where the sales cycle is very long, you want to, instead of trying to sell month to month, you want to sell them like a 6-month package where they pay up front for the 6 months. That's the hack. For a niche like chiros, they can be very sticky. I had clients that stayed with me for, I don't know, 3 years, like till I left. Like I had clients stay with me till I left the agency and sold it. So with that, our mindset was like, let's get as many people in the door. And yes, some people are going to leave after 1 month, but there's also going to be those that stay for a long, long time. And our average retention rate was about 8 to 9 months.
Cool.
Now, some people, like, there's some agencies that are like, Joel, it needs to be a lot more than that. But I'm like, yeah, but we also let everyone in on a month-to-month plan. So you're looking at it's not just 8 to 9 months. I had some people on this end that stayed for 2 years and some people that stayed for 1 month.
Right.
Average is just 8 to 9, right?
Thanks. Sorry, one last question. In reference to you, if they're not able to pay and you said you offer a kind of like a beginner program, do you mind like maybe expanding a bit on what the difference between the two programs could look like?
Yeah, let me see if I have another demo presentation that I can show you.
Because for local biz, if you're just setting them up appointments,
here, I'm gonna hook you guys up. All right, I'm gonna hook you guys up. We actually did an offer kind of like Thomas's, we did paper show for a little bit. I'm gonna show you guys that demo as well. I'll just upload all these into the Google Drive, so don't feel like you need to like screenshot or whatever. I'll upload all these. But as you guys can see, like the sales letter in this one, by the way, was a little bit shorter. Well, maybe not too much shorter, but anyways, let me go to the end. All right, invite only starter program. This was like option 3 for people that couldn't afford it. We tell them, hey, if you get started today, we will drop our cost to $497 for the first 2 months plus ad spend. Then you'll automatically get upgraded after 60 days. That being said, we took out a lot of the things that they would normally get. So for example, let's say that we had Ashley AI, which is, go high level, and then Chiro University, and then all this, the bonuses. We would like take all these out and just do like Facebook ads and Ashley AI. Like it was just go high level and Facebook ads. Like we made it very bare bones. I know that that's still kind of most of the system, but it was more to get them in the door and try to help them make some money so that they could afford your services. And we noticed that within 30 days, they couldn't really make the money back, but within 60, they could. So then what we did is we said, hey, it's $497 month 1, $497 month 2, not including the ad spend. So they would also pay for the ad spend. Then after that, it automatically upgrades to $2K a month. So like,
cool, thanks.
They pretty much got the same system, minus some bonuses, minus some other things. It was just like ads, go high level, which I know that's what most of you guys are doing for your clients. But really the goal is to get them in the door and help them make some cash so that they can afford your services. All right, Jackson, we got 8 minutes left.
I'll make them as quick as possible. With the offer on ad spend, initially you were guaranteeing, I think, 50 leads for dentists up front, or in the first 30 days. Did you use both ad spend plus like an email campaign to kind of just jam them with as many people as possible? Like, how did you deliver 50? Because that's like not a small number of booked people.
Yeah. So the biggest hack in the world to getting clients better results, you guys should all listen to this one. The biggest hack in the world to getting clients better results is to get them to spend more on ads. Let me give you an example.
Okay, well,
Let's say it costs you $10 per appointment, just to keep it simple, and you spend $500. How many appointments is that? 500 divided by 10. 50 appointments. Okay. Yeah. Let's say that the closing rate is, just to keep it really simple. Okay. Let's say the closing rate is 10%. So they close 5 patients. Let's say each patient brings them in, I don't know, let's just keep it really simple. $500 and made 2,500 off of the 500. But now let's say that we get them to, so they made 2,500. Now let's say we get them to spend 4 times that. And let's say they don't get quite, 50 appointments per 500 an ad spend, but let's say they get like 180 appointments total, right? So we got them to spend four times more. They got 180 appointments. They close at 10%. That means they closed 18 people. 18 times 500 is 9,000. Okay. I know you spent more on ads though, right? You spent 2K instead of the 500. You spent an extra 1,500, but you also made an extra 7,500. So you're actually net higher up. You ultimately make them more money, even if they spent more money. See how that works?
Right. Yeah, 100%. So then how
So
did
the initial
you...
one, they closed 2,500, right? Off of 500. So now they really only walked away with 2K. And the second one, they spent 500 times 4 was 2K. They spent 2K, but they made 9 grand. So they walked away with 7.
Right.
So they walked away with more than 3 times the amount of money in their pocket, even though you got them to spend more. And all in, it was a bigger investment up front.
Yeah, because the AI can do better with more money for sure.
The easiest, don't worry, AI is it's just copy.
I was talking about Facebook's AI. It just does better with more dollars too.
I mean, it's just you advertise more, you're gonna get more appointments, more appointments, more opportunity to close, more opportunities to close, more money that they're gonna make, right? It's like what we did is we told them there's good, better, and best. Good, say it's $50 a day. Better is $100 a day. Best is $150 a day. And then what we did is we never talked about ad spend in terms of monthly, always in terms of daily. Doesn't feel as intense. Most people went with the middle option. That's something that I got from Hermosi. The good, better, best. Go with the middle.
Yeah, for sure.
You have 3 price packages. Most people end up not going with the highest or the lowest. They go in the middle. And we noticed, like, look, 50, 100, 150. If they spend $100 a day, that's $3K a month. You're solid.
Yeah, you're doing good. Yeah, for sure. And then, but how did you, like, in the presentation, it says like, $500 ad spend or whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
with $500 ad spend, getting them. Go ahead.
Yeah, like here's the good.
I think it might be a little bit tough with that small of a budget to get 50.
Wait, which budget?
Well, somewhere in one of the things that said we'll get you 50 appointments in the first 30 days or something like that for, I think, your dental slides or something.
Might have been. Let me see.
And the guarantee was even, I think, like you paid them
$1,000
on top of it or something.
I said new patient opportunities. This was pre-COVID.
Oh, okay, got it.
That was just leads.
Okay, got it.
Let's say a lead cost me $10. Back then you could just guarantee leads and they were like, holy crap. It's gotten more advanced. So like,
got it.
That's how we would hit 50. With my offers, guys, you have to be able to hit it 90% of the time. But you could also set yourself up to win. You could say, hey, doctor, you have to spend $100 a day in ad spend.
Right.
And then if they want to,
then you're good to go. Yeah, for sure. That's what I was thinking of doing. Last little kind of like add on to that. Have you ever had someone where you didn't hit the guarantee, or that, you didn't hit it and they stayed on anyway? Like you missed it by a little or something?
No, I would just go in. One of the ways that we manage this is we always charge them for ad spend and charge them for the retainer or per show separately, but we actually ran the ads from our business manager and our ad accounts, so they couldn't see how much we spent. And then what would happen is, if we needed to, we would actually just go into the red a little bit and spend more to hit it, and they couldn't tell.
Makes so much sense. That's what I thought. Okay, good. I just wanted to confirm that.
So like, if you have to do that for 1 out of 10 clients, whatever, like let's say,
and also it keeps it also client.
Yeah, and it allowed you to beat everyone else's offer and get 10.
So smart.
The other thing that we did, guys, is if clients were getting 2 good results, we actually limited it to, they couldn't get more than 5. I think it was 6 leads a day, which ends up being like 2 or 3 appointments. Because what we noticed is if they get more and you get them 2 good results, they get either overwhelmed, it exposes their lack of ability to actually handle those leads, or they get 2 good results and they leave. It's almost better to get consistent, solid results over a long period of time than crazy results.
So smart. That's the other reason I found out that people would leave a marketing company. You got them 2 good results.
Yeah, this guy was like, we got him a 12x ROI, and he was like, I'm out. So
he's like, see ya, you did your job. Have a good day.
Yeah, so I would say being able to control the ad spend also allows you to spend less when you need to and spend more when you need to. And then like sometimes we'd also make some money on the ad spend because we didn't need all of it to hit the guarantee. So it ended up balancing out. Like let's say for client A, you spend less than you need to hit the guarantee. Client B, you spend a little bit more. It ends up being kind of the same. All right, Abdullah. Oh wait, no, I think we're out of time. Well, last one, because Abdullah, you waited a long time and then I think we got to go.
Okay, it's a question because you mentioned that you had a business partner and it's the same with me. It's me and my best friend, like 50-50. I just want to ask, like, what did you focus on and what did he focus on and how did that play? Like,
If you're going to get a business partner, you guys need to have completely different roles. Like
yeah, we do.
it makes no sense to do the same thing. At that point, it's like, don't have a business partner to do more of the same. Remember I told you guys that I started a new company? One of the reasons why is because me and my business partner in Agency Lab are very similar, and we realized it's kind of overkill. So we're like, we can actually just do two things at the same time separately. So he's running that. I have not been involved at all. And what I would do is pick someone that's in charge of backend, everything from when the client comes in to get them great results, and someone that's in charge of front end, making sure you're getting more clients. You could be similar people, but you are in charge of different things. Like me and my business partner were both similar, but I was in charge of, as soon as the client comes in, I'm in charge of managing the relationship, talking to them, making sure they get good results, setting up all the systems. He was in charge of getting the clients in the door.
Got it.
You guys, if you don't divide and conquer, you're wasting. It's inefficient. Hopefully that helps. I know Thomas.
Thank you so much, Joel.
That was
Yeah, no
great.
problem.
Thanks, man.
I'm gonna drop the new demos in there too.
Appreciate
There's gonna
it.
be the Alice Dental demo and then the paper show demo, so you could see 3 different variations.
Thank
Great.
You, Joel.
Thank you, man.